Here are a few ways I found to make $1,000 a week. You might need a car for some of these, but you definitely don't need a college degree. And some of these, you don't need any money to get started. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first one on the list, we're gonna talk about becoming a food delivery driver. We talk about this all the time at Millennial Money Man because I think right now, this is probably the fastest ways that you can actually go out there and make $1,000 every single week. I feel like on every single week, it should be like explosives, like maybe like red laser beams coming from my eyes when we do that. Make that happen every single week. So this is one that's really for all age groups, assuming that you're over 18 and can drive a car. But honestly, I think this is a really good one for people that are just out of college or maybe in college, you're a student, you don't have a ton of money, you don't have a lot of skills that you can monetize, but you can go out there and you can pick up food and deliver to other people and make good money doing it. So a few options for companies to work with. DoorDash is the biggest one, right? They have the most market share. Uber Eats is also really popular, Instacart, Grubhub. And what I recommend is you don't just work for one company. You can actually stack these food delivery companies so that you have ample opportunity to go out there and actually make money. Now, when it comes to pay, you can make anywhere from $15 to $25 per hour. It really depends on the app that you're driving for. They all have different pay models. And in other videos, we talk about how those pay models work. Long story short, you make pretty decent money. Now, you do have to account for depreciation on your car. You got to think about maintenance when you're doing this as well. I think that it's really good if you have an older car that's already been depreciated. That's great. If you have something that's not a gas guzzler and you're not driving huge distances, I think that's great too. I wouldn't go and do this with a brand new F350 pickup truck. I don't think that's the most economic way to go about food delivery. But if you have, I don't know, like a 2004 Prius, but it's probably a pretty solid way for you to have good margin on what you make. Now, one of the great things about being a food delivery driver is that you get tips. So if you're somebody that wants to go the extra mile and provide great customer service, which some of the drivers do, I'm not gonna lie, we order DoorDash pretty often at my house. The ones that are more likely to say, hey, I'm on the way, here's how many minutes I have left. Is there anything else you need with your order? Like, I usually tip them a little bit more. So if you're somebody that is good with customer service, you don't mind kind of chatting back and forth with people through the app, I would suggest doing that because you're gonna get higher tips if you put a little bit more effort in. Now, every platform does have a different sign-up process, but typically the way it works is that you're going to apply, you're going to provide some information, and then you're going to wait to see if you get approved. Some of them have things like background checks, and they want to make sure that you are not like a felon. But if you aren't, then your approval process is going to be pretty quick. All right, next on the list, driving for Uber. So Uber is a good alternative if you don't want to deliver food. And actually, I've talked to a lot of Uber drivers that are like, I didn't like driving for food. I didn't like getting in and out of my car. I'd rather just drive people around. So if you're one of those people, you just want to stay in your car, you don't want to have to do like a lot of hustling to go get food and all of that, Uber's a really good option for you. So because of the responsibility of actually driving people around in your car, you do get paid more on average with a service like Uber than you would with one of the food delivery services. Now, you are going to be driving people that you don't know at all, and you're going to be driving them from one destination to the other. So, you know, you got to be comfortable with actually having people in your car and maybe talking to them if they want to talk. But from my experience, well, I'm going to say my experience being the person that calls the Uber, I usually don't talk to anybody. I don't like to really talk to people. So there's a good chance you're not really talking to that many people and don't have to be extroverted. Now, unlike food delivery, you do need to make sure that the car you're driving actually passes Uber's requirements. So you can't be driving a piece of junk, right? You have to drive something that people are going to get into and that's not going to break down. One of the great things about Uber is that you can get bonuses. They do specific promotions where if you drive a certain number of times, you can actually make more money, which is awesome. So I think one of the sneaky benefits of being an Uber driver or a food delivery driver is that you can use that time that you're sitting in the car to actually improve yourself and gain skills. I've talked to a lot of drivers that are listening to like inspirational podcasts, or they're learning how to invest and they talk to me about investing or just different businesses that they want to start. And then you've probably been in an Uber like this before, but you see Uber and then you see a Lyft sticker. So you can stack services with this just like you would food delivery. I've talked to Uber drivers that drive for Uber Eats. There's a lot of opportunities for you to work for different services and make sure that you stay busy while you're driving. All right, third on the list, selling your stuff. I think this is one of the easiest ways possible to make money. This is like the lowest barrier to entry. You don't have to apply for anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just find crap that you have and you sell it. You can look around your house right now and probably find $1,000 worth of stuff. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to find $1,000 worth of stuff every single week to sell. I think that would be pretty wild, unless like you're selling like everything that you own and you just have a mattress in your house. So the reality is, as you run out of stuff to sell, you're gonna have to go find other things. But you've probably seen in your own neighborhood people driving around and picking things out of the trash. They're called pickers, or going on eBay and doing the arbitrage thing. It's like the Gary Vaynerchuk method of going to garage sales or finding things on eBay and flipping it for more money. But it's like anything else. Like as you get better at it, as you learn more and you scan eBay eBay more and you understand the market more, and you understand how things resell and what kind of margins you can get for certain products, you're going to get good at this. And this is something you can absolutely do and make $1,000 a week every single week. I actually have a really good friend that does this with shoes. Like he goes out and finds really nice shoes at garage sales and things like that, estate sales, and then he'll clean them up and then he'll flip them for way more than what he paid. And he can find shoes everywhere. Everybody's got shoes. I have shoes. There's shoes all over the place. There's even a free section on Craigslist. Like you can just go get free crap and like flip that for money. Now you got to be careful of scammers, right? Like I don't want you going out trying this, being like, Bobby told me to go and flip things, and you get mugged and somebody takes your wallet. Be careful, right? Don't just go out there to like a random dark location in the middle of the night and get jumped. And then if you get like expert level good, like Goku, I'm going back to my childhood. If you get like Goku, Spirit Bomb, Saiyan good at this, you can rent a place in a flea market. There's spaces where you can rent out booths and tables and you can start selling your stuff there. I have a friend that does this. The guy that I was actually talking about with the shoes, he does this, and he actually talked about renting like a storage facility to keep all of his stuff. There's levels to this, right? You can just like flip, or you can flip big stuff and make a lot of money. Another way you can do this is you can flip other people's stuff for commission. So once you run out of stuff, you can actually go and talk to other people. Like it's like win-win-win for everybody, right? Like they get rid of the stuff, you make money, and then other people get cool stuff that they wouldn't have found elsewhere. All right, fourth on the list, get a part-time job. I know this one seems like pretty straightforward, but I can't tell you how many people I talk to that maybe want to start some kind of entrepreneurial side hustle, or they want to start flipping things. Really, like they're probably best suited for just like going and getting another job. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's been this demonization of like jobs are the worst. I've probably done that before too, to be honest with you. But like jobs suck. You should work for yourself. You should flip stuff, all that kind of thing. But like there's something about having a stable part-time job, and you know the money's going to come in. You're working 20 hours a week and you just know you're going to get paid, especially if it's something you enjoy. But don't shy away from that. Like don't feel like you have to go out there and become an entrepreneur just because Gary Vaynerchuk or Bobby Hoyt, like the Bobby Hoyt, tells you need to. Like you don't need to. You can just get a job. Another one on the list, flipping furniture. Like specifically, like you probably, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Ryan Pineda, he's the guy that's got like the very bougie hair with the different colors and stuff and full beard. He doesn't have full beard. But he is famous for flipping couches, which is a really, really cool side hustle. He still talks about it to this day. And it's kind of wild to think like this multi-millionaire real estate guy used to just like flip couches, but everybody gets started somewhere. Like I started out writing blog posts for a jeweler for like $100 an article, and I've built a seven-figure business off of that. So you can start flipping couches and become a billionaire, I guess, if you want to. So you probably are going to need a little bit of capital to start this. Like you can find some free couches. I'm sure there's some out there, but let's be honest. If you're going out and finding couches on the street, they probably are gross. Like think about who's been sleeping on those couches. You know what I mean? So after you actually purchase the couch, obviously you're going to need to sell it. So something like OfferUp or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, all these online places where you can sell things, that's where you go. List the couch, take some great pictures of it, clean it up, and sell it for more than you paid for it. So number 6 on the list, focus groups. So this is actually pretty similar to surveys. We've talked about online surveys, which you can make money doing, but you're definitely not getting rich. Now, obviously, this is going to take more time than an online survey, which is why you make more money doing this. 2 options for you to do this: HiveMind, that's a good one. And then, I never know how to say this, but Schillinger Group.
Luckily, they rebranded to Sego.com, but this is how you say it.
Schlesinger Group.
But those are 2 options for you to go out and do focus groups. So you can gain anywhere from $5 to $600, which I know is like a wild spread. And the way that it works is you get weekly emails where they basically tell you about the different opportunities that are out there for the focus groups. And then if you feel like you qualify, you would opt in for it. This next one is a little bit more like ethereal, right? But you're going to be monetizing a skill that you already have. And let me explain. If you're somebody that likes to edit videos, or you're somebody that likes to make funny clips in your spare time, you could become a video editor, right? There's a lot of free training out there. There's a lot of courses out there that teach you how to become a video editor. But if you already have those skills, like if you do something that's something maybe kind of like enjoyable or fun that you already do for your friends, you can turn that into something that makes money. I'll give you a good example for me. So like I started a blog back in 2015, which is now my full-time job, which sounds a little bit wild. But the way that I got started was that I was doing fantasy football. I was in a league at the school that I taught at. And every week I would do this letter from the commissioner, which really was just me writing a bunch of nonsense and kind of like talking crap about all the teams. This matchup, this person destroyed this person and this person sucked, whatever. But they were funny and like the league seemed to like them. And that was the first time that I realized like, oh, maybe I can write a little bit. So then I started writing about personal finance after I paid off my student loans. And then I started writing for the blog, and then I've hired all these people now. So it's like turned into its crazy thing. but it came from a skill that I didn't even know that I had. It was just something that I kind of liked doing. So you probably do the same thing, whether it is video editing or whether it is like making GIFs or making memes. You can make money doing all those things, right? You just have to learn how to do it at a professional level. Let's say you're a guy that loves to like just go and talk to people and tell them which weights they should be using or not using. You could become a fitness instructor, right? You can become an online fitness instructor and make way more money, right? There's just a lot of different things that just whatever you're passionate about, whatever you like doing. I know I've made a lot of jokes about this, but like whatever you like doing, you can go out and turn that into a monetizable skill. And I've seen it over and over and over throughout my career. So last one on the list, tutoring. And tutoring is great because I mean, I was a teacher, right? So I saw a lot of teachers become tutors. It's kind of like the easiest one for you to become if you are a teacher. You teach kids all day, right? And you teach like all these like jerk kids that don't listen to you and do all this stupid stuff. What if somebody paid you to actually teach their kid and that kid was like nice and respectful because, you know, the parent is directly paying you? That's a cool way to make money. And if you're like an English teacher or science teacher or math teacher, music teacher, there are so many ways you can go out there and work with kids one-on-one and make extra money. So I actually forgot about this until I was, you know, reading the script for this video. And yes, we do have scripts here at Millennial Money Man. But I used to be a private instructor for music. I was a college band student and I needed to make extra money. So I would go to schools and I would teach kids during class. And I think I've charged them like $25 for half an hour, right? And that's a form of tutoring. So it's a great way to make a good chunk of money in your spare time. And it's very consistent because kids need to keep learning, right? Like kids these days are getting dumber and dumber and dumber. So they're like, somebody's got to teach them. Somebody's got to help them. According to Fortune Business in 2022, so a couple of years ago, the market for tutoring was $54 billion.
And billions.
And what's cool about this, you can use platforms like Wyzant, People Per Hour, Craigslist. There are a lot of online platforms that you can actually use to become a tutor. You don't have to go to every single school in your area and tutor that way. Okay, I know that video was wild. So if you like that and you liked learning how to make $1,000 every single week, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. We need to grow this channel badly. I'm like pouring money into this channel. We've got all these editors. These people need jobs. Keep these people in their jobs by subscribing and liking and hopefully just watching all of our videos. I'm Bobby Hoyt from Millennial Money Man. See you in the next video.